Shalom to all my friends around the world. So many of you have become true friends, close friends, and we don't forget each other despite the distance. I'll start with an update of the situation here, and later we'll make a request of you. So first of all, we're heartbroken. We have trouble falling asleep at night. The kids don't go to school, and it's really hard to hide the tears while taking care of them. Our hearts and eyes cannot digest the horrors. We seek comfort and fail to find it. I can't stop thinking of the people who are kidnapped, about the horrors that they're experiencing at this moment. On the other hand, we see constant help here, everywhere. Endless initiatives, from packing food to soldiers, to offering new apartments for the surviving families who escaped their homes, drives for toys, clothes, furniture, and equipment, and it's coming from all sectors all over the country. Thousands of Israelis who were out of the country took the first flight home to get drafted into the army and help. These are my people. Yes, these are my special people. We also feel the warm support of so many of you outside of Israel, and it gives us a lot of strength. It really does. The statements of President Joe Biden, Secretary Antony Blinken, and the Mayor of New York, Eric Adams, are all a single ray of light and hope in the darkness. It is said in the midst of all of this grieving, Israel has to justify its existence and deal with false propaganda that is being spread around the world. But I'll just say this. During the events of 9/11, Gaza was celebrating. They handed out candy and sweets. They celebrated the bloodshed. That is what is happening now. It's an entire generation that sanctifies death and violence. True, maybe not everyone feels this way, but apparently there are not enough people who take to the streets to reject Hamas, so it's hard to tell the difference. Even in the terrible tyranny of Iran, people are protesting against the regime. In Gaza, they are silent. The Palestinian Authority, who we started a peace process with 30 years ago, offers silence. Not even the smallest condemnation. As you might have heard, Israel asked the Palestinians in northern Gaza to leave their homes so they don't get hurt by Israel. But Hamas is preventing them from doing so. You see, the whole infrastructure of this sick killing machine is built under hospitals, schools, and homes. This is where they're hiding. They don't want the human shield to be gone, so they don't let their own people leave. This is what we've been facing for years. The Palestinians could have flourished. For decades, they've been receiving endless funds from the European Union, from Qatar, from Israel. We supported their request for seaport and any request that would allow them to prosper as citizens. But all the money was used to create a military killing machine. Israel wanted and wants to live alongside the Palestinians in peace. The people who were murdered here, entire families, were farmers, pursuers of peace, and many of them worked side by side with Palestinians who arrived every day from Gaza. Since the first days the Jewish immigrants started coming here to Israel, their homeland, back in 1881, when there were only a few hundreds of thousands of Arabs here, they talked about how they would live in peace alongside the Arabs, Jews from the left and from the right. Read the words of Jabotinsky, the leader of the right, about his hope for peaceful life of Jews and Arabs together. And don't talk to me about a so-called narrative trying to explain why this is happening. This is just a word that launders truth and justice. Because even if Israel made mistakes along the way, the Palestinians never stopped striving to murder us. Whether it was terror attacks that preceded the establishment of the state, in 1921, 29, 36, whether it was the plan of Haj Amin al-Husseini, the religious leader of the Palestinians in the 40s, who plotted with Hitler to build a death camp in the land of Israel as the German troops were advancing towards this land during World War II, or whether it was the terror attacks that we've been going through ever since Israel was established. It is clear that all attempts to make peace with them failed. The Jews lived as a minority all over the world for 2,000 years. They experienced a lot of persecutions and a lot of anti-Semitism and never chose the path of violence, murder, and blood. Instead, our choice has always been to rise from the ashes, to build, to grow, That's also what we're trying to do now. There are times in life when one is required to choose where he or she stands. Don't be silent. If you will not be here to protect the good in this world, as President Joe Biden is doing, the good in this world will be under an immediate threat. And this threat may one day knock on your door as well. Don't be silent. Choose a side. Don't say yes, but. Stand by Israel. Stand by hope and peace. Amen.